on, dog. We're all afraid to speak the truth. And the more afraid we get, the more we hate the ones who do. You're ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Cause honestly, we are all ashamed of you too.
Y'all are so fake. Oh no. The forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa. You can make us see it your way. No way. Gasoline and propane. More flames. Oh no. No more snowflakes.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to The Filthy Truth. My name is Lynne Nelson, and this is our Tuesday Night Live show. I know that Todd is finishing up doing whatever he's got to do there. He had Kristen Nagel on announcing that they got a court date on Friday, which is awesome to see. Hopefully stopping the freezing of the bank accounts, which is completely illegal and completely wrong of what the government's doing. We're going to get into all of that. Hello to all our Primetime Patriot fans. How are you guys doing? Hello to every Canadian out there. Hopefully you guys are doing well on this Tuesday. It has been one hell of a weekend watching it from up here or down here, I guess, and watching everything that's been going on. Literally seeing it, like it felt like what happened in 5 minutes went from like a super fun, peaceful protest to a complete riot zone from our government and, of course, our lovely police force that we've got going on there in Ottawa. Of course, our amazing RCMP officers and possibly a few UN soldiers heading in there, getting all baton wacky crazy, getting a lot of pepper spray crazy, and it's like it was almost like playing whack-a-mole with Canadians. That's exactly what it looked like with all the footage that we were watching. And of course, mainstream media didn't show any of it. Mainstream media sat there and complained that they were the ones being harassed, that they were the ones that were, that they were the victims in all of this, which was complete and utter bullshit. I just want to put a huge shout out there. If you guys are coffee lovers, please head over to www.resistancecoffee.com/filthy truth. Type in the code Lynne, LYNNE, and you guys will save yourselves 10% on coffee. Not only are you guys buying amazing tasting coffee, but you guys are also helping support the local JCCF, which is Canada-wide, and it's a bunch of lawyers that help people like me fight tickets. The JCCF was also a part of helping the convoy organizers fight off the government. We had some lawyers there that were they were doing a great job. They were talking. They held the press conference. They basically kept the mainstream media in line, which is great to see. These guys have great coffee, so make sure you guys are helping support them. They've been fighting for this cause for a long time, and make sure you guys go there. I want to put a huge shout out to Take Action Canada. They had so many boots on the ground in Ottawa as well. We are, of course, streaming on their page and our official video partners with them. And of course, our Primetime Patriot friends. Hello to all our US friends. Hello to all our Canadian friends. Hello to all our Mexican viewers, our Australian viewers. And of course, now we're getting into more of the UK, which is fantastic and amazing. So just a big howdy y'all doing, and hope you guys are doing well. So I'm going to start off basically with this. I made a video about 2 days ago. I went for a walk with my kids, and I had to, when we found out that the government was enacting the Wars Act and that the vote had gone through, which was last night, but we knew it was going to happen. We saw what was happening in Ottawa. We saw what was happening. The elderly lady, she was a clan mother from the Mohawk tribe. She got basically trampled by a horse. They said there was a bike thrown. There was no bike thrown, because you can see literally the live video, and I was watching it live from a couple live streams, and you just saw the horses trotting, and they just took out a couple people. My heart broke, and there were so many tears, probably like so many other Canadians that were watching this. We were like appalled. We were shocked. We were heartbroken. We couldn't believe this was our country. Peace and love. Like, For those of you guys who might not know what was going on, there were kids in bouncy houses. There were kids playing street hockey. There were adults playing street hockey. And there were a few dance parties. But according to Justin Trudeau, this was domestic terrorism. Can't hear you, bud. Sorry, sorry, Alex. It was domestic terrorism, according to our government, and he decided that the War Act had to be enacted because, you know, there were bouncy houses and street hockey in the streets of Ottawa. The War Act, like I had mentioned in the show last week, was not used for peaceful protests. Although in his if you ever have, I don't know how many of you guys are watching CPAC. Just kind of give me a yes up or a thumbs up. How many of you guys are watching CPAC and watching the debates with Justin Trudeau and the bullshit conservatives who are looking like they're fighting for us? How many of you guys are watching this stuff? Because the narrative is always the same. So give me a thumbs up, give me a high five or whatever. Let me know if you guys are watching that. The narrative doesn't change. If you listen to Trudeau talk, he always says the same thing. It's an illegal blockade. It's almost like he says what Joe Biden said, which makes no fucking sense. when Joe Biden said, the only way to keep yourself safe in a hurricane is to get vaccinated. Didn't he whisper it? It was so creepy. Justin Trudeau says the same thing. He says the only way to stop the pandemic from going is to get vaccinated. The only way to stop the protests and all that is basically to get vaccinated. He talks about these illegal blockades, but then in the same breath, he says, but it's okay to protest. In the same breath, he goes, but it's a bunch of Nazis and white supremacists that are at these things. But in the same breath, he says, every Canadian, you know, can come at me and say, yes, they can disagree with me. And in the same breath, he freezes the bank accounts of people who are opposed to his things, to opposed to his agenda, opposed to his daddy's Klaus Schwab's New World Order. So we're sitting here in a position as Canadians, as citizens. I don't even like right now. Let's just call this what it is. Let's just say for a second that we're just citizens of the world. We're citizens of the world, because here's what's going to happen. They ruled last night at 6 p.m. our time, which was 8 p.m. Eastern. They ruled that the War Act had to continue because the threat of more protesters were out there. Canadians were peaceful. There were no illegal activities happening other than a few streets being blocked down for protest reasons. Trudeau said that he tried every measure that he could think of before he enacted the war measures. Did he talk to the convoy's leadership? No. Did he try to reach out and have a conversation with the Senate, with the House, and say, hey, what can we do so that we could better this situation? No. Where were the Conservatives 2 years ago when they were pushing this crap on us? And now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, dang, we have an opportunity to show opposition, so let's hop on board. Let's get rid of O'Toole, who was a complete tool from day one. And let's put in Candace so she can speak. And that, oh, hey, let's put Pierre Poilievre so that he could be our new prime minister. This is absolute ludicrous. All of this stuff is bullshit. All of this stuff is planned. I'm going to show you guys a clip for you Americans who this is going to, we'll just start this one. I'm going to share this, and then I have to switch my screen. So just be patient with me. So I'm going to show this guy. And then I have to rewind this like I'm fucking, all right, you got to listen to this.
How many guns need to be seized? How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler?
Honk honk is an acronym for Hail Hitler. I'll let you sit with that for a sec. Honk honk, an acronym for Hail Hitler. That is an MP for the Liberals. Like, do they live in their own fucking world? Like, are they creating this own story about themselves? Like, do they tell themselves a story that's happening where they were? And are they ignoring what's happening outside those doors? Because it's like Justin Trudeau and the rest of his MPs. Oh, and no, I'm going to get going with Jagmeet Singh right away too. What world are they living in that they see so many haters and so much Nazism going on from people who are free-loving protesters? We just want freedom to choose. We want 2019 back. I swear to God, they're doing a better job than Hollywood right now painting this story. So that's a for real thing that happens in the Canadian House of Commons. If you guys want to watch this stuff live, all my American viewers, go to CPAC Live on YouTube, and you can watch them debate. It's mind-blowing I can't even believe when I had seen that, and that's been pretty violent. I think that was posted about 3 or 4 days ago. And then don't even, somebody just wrote cocaine has got to be a thing. Don't even get me started on Christy Freeland. Oh God, don't even get me started with her. She is Klaus Schwab's. They did. It was revealed that they had. I think there were 16 or something like that people that are in our cabinet right now that are affiliated with the WEF. If you don't know what the WEF is, it's the World Economic Forum. Honk honk. Honk honk means Hail Hitler, according to our Liberal government in Canada. Okay, so that's, she is very twitchy. Krista Freelander, she's always like this in the background. Maybe it's because she can't breathe because she's got her mask on too tight. Anyways, so that's that one. If you guys haven't seen this Jeremy Mackenzie one, I'm going to play 2 clips from it. Number one is, I got to share my screen here. Hang on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm going to play this right away. This is about 2 minutes long, so bear with me, but you got to really listen. Then I'm going to fast forward it to the 5-minute mark, and I'm going to play that for 1 minute. When I watched this for the first time, it literally brought me to tears. So please just listen to what Jeremy Mackenzie posted the first day of the riots in Ottawa.
A rifle. People's windows were smashed. They were hauled out of their vehicles. A friend of mine was trampled by cops. Friends of mine, wounded guys with their smashed up bodies that they put on the line for this country, were beaten by police, unarmed. There's no word. I'm having a difficult time finding the words right now, and I'll have a lot more to say later tonight when I settle in, and I'll do this on my podcast, I suppose. But this is a national tragedy, and it's still going on. It's still continuing. There's people trapped in a pocket downtown, and they're being trampled and pushed around and roughed up, and it looks like they're getting ready to gas them. They've got full riot gear, cops, batons, guns, M4s, C8 carbines, snipers, armored cars, horses. I saw a family get ripped apart. This was the most beautiful and positive thing I ever saw come out of this country. And how this government reacted was with brute force. And where is the savior Conservative Party, who said nothing for 2 years? And we came to this point because of those people, because of their weakness and inability to do what is morally correct. And now this is where we're at, and there's crickets, nothing. You try to draft up a statement, Pierre? Why weren't you down there? You want to be prime minister? Sit down. Candace Bergen, sit down. Who'd have thought? Muslim Jesus. He's lying. Who knows how many people are being doxxed illegally, having their data hacked and stolen by criminal scumbags at the behest of the liberal government, who then use it to punish these people. People are losing their jobs for $25 and $100 donations to some people that just want their lives back. And they enact the War Measures Act, the Emergency Measures Act, to justify a violent and brutal crackdown on old people and women and wounded veterans. You beat wounded veterans in the street. You scum! No one will ever forgive you, and nor should they. Never, never, never.
So that was my friend Jeremy McKenzie, the raging dissident. He was on the show a few podcasts ago. We've been talking kind of on and off since he's been in Ottawa, and he was saying this appalling, heartbreaking, mind-blowing stuff. So that's what's happening there. Now, I'm going to show you guys one more thing, because this is how fucked up Canada is getting. So I'm just going to do this. I got to do it one more time here. Sorry, I'm learning how to do this. Usually, I just want to make sure that we have the right ones here. Okay. This is what the police chief in Ottawa has said. The police chief in Ottawa says every single Canadian who supported the truckers will be hunted down and ruined. Now, Alex, you have the link to this. Can you please share it in the chat? On there, you will see his full press conference where he talks about this. He is a guy who he came in after the one guy came in, did 2 days and said, no, I'm not doing this. Every single Canadian who supported the truckers will be hunted down and ruined. That is what's happening. Now, I'm going to share this with you because this is what happened in the 1930s. Let me pull that up right here. Hitler's Enabling Act was passed March of 1933. So in March of 1933, Hitler passed an Enabling Act, which is like our War Act. It gave him extraordinary powers to bypass laws and fundamental human rights to detain or punish anyone without courts for no stated reason. Sound familiar? Are you fucking listening yet? Are you fucking paying attention yet? Are you fucking watching what history is repeating itself? Are you fucking listening? If I just read you the bottom part and told you that in February of 2021, Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergency Act. It gave him extraordinary powers to bypass laws, fundamental human rights, and to detain or punish anyone without courts for no stated reasons, confiscate bank accounts and other assets, and essentially do whatever he pleases. It is no longer Hi Hitler, it is Hi Trudeau. Trudeau. To those of you who used to shit on us for comparing this to the fucking World War II, we told you from the beginning, it doesn't start off with gas chambers. It starts off by adding restrictions, by segregating a specific group of people. It starts off with then imposing more restrictions, taking more rights away. March 1933, he imposed the act. If I would have read that without saying Hitler at first, would you have just thought that was Justin Trudeau?
Hell yeah, I would have.
If you want to see what happens next, read a fucking history book. My American friends, you guys aren't far away. I was talking to a few friends of mine in the U.S. and I know that you guys have bigger guns than we do. I know you guys have bigger balls than we do. Texas-sized balls is what I wish most Canadians had right now. It is unbelievable. It is mind-blowing, unbelievable. If you can't see the comparison to what happened in 1933 to what's happening right now in Canada, you know, and here's the thing. We were ready to go back. We were ready to go back to Canada. He enacted this act. And now I'm like, it's the same thing. It would be like if the Jewish people escaped Germany just to go back to Germany in 1935. Now, Canada we're not done fighting. Obviously, Canadians aren't done fighting. It feels like we all took a knee yesterday when we saw the NDP when we saw the NDP side begrudgingly. What was the words that Jagmeet Singh? Oh, I wish I would have pulled that up. The words that he uses, we regretfully have to side with the Trudeau government because of fear of basically repeat offenders, of fear of repeat protesters. NDP is just as bad as spreading the racist card as anybody else. Now, I'm going to go back to the elderly lady that was trampled by a horse. She was a clan mother from the Mohawk tribe in Ontario. The Mohawks are mostly they're mostly known to be in Ontario in Canada. The Mohawk tribe, and I'm trying to remember who it was, replied back, said, "We will see you soon, Trudeau." I am a batshit crazy lady. Have you seen what happened to us for the last 2 years? If anybody's not batshit crazy at this point, I don't know. You've got a better sane head on your shoulders than I do. I guess you got more patience than I do. So, yeah, the horses they weren't controlled. But you know now. Okay, so we knew the devil with Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party. We knew that devil because we've played and danced with that devil for the last 2 years. The new devil, the one that really just shot his whole party in the foot, is Jagmeet Singh. He just literally killed the NDP by siding on the side of Hitler. Hitler 2.0. Now I look at the country and now I think about the future and now I think about the next 30 days. Yes, there's a Senate vote. I'm not too optimistic about that. I mean, there's always hope, right? I mean, there's always a chance, right? You know, they came on and said they finally got a court date for Friday, so there's a chance that they can overturn this. There's a chance. There's a chance. The NDP sold us out. I wonder what, like, oh, it's so heartbreaking. On my rant that I did the other day when I went for my walk, all I keep thinking about is the kids. We have four teenagers here. You know, they range from the ages of 17 to almost 14. My daughter's going to be 14 in like 2 weeks. And I think about the childhood that they're being robbed of, the teenage years. You know those teenage years where you get to be an asshole, you get to stay out late, and you get to be grounded. You know, you taste booze for the first time. You get to go to a couple house parties for the first time. You really learn how to be an adult. You learn to strive out on your own. You know, you learn to create goals.
Especially
Right?
Manitoba, man. Those bush parties are epic.
They were rocking. But
Yeah.
you think about that, and it's literally taken away from them. They don't have that opportunity because even if we were there, half the parents don't want their kids hanging out with your kids anymore because of the fear
Yep.
that CBC, CTV, Global have all instilled. They literally spew out hatred and lies. This is like such a great chance or such a great opportunity for independent media like ours, alternative media like ours, because we're showing the truths behind it. We're not afraid of people like Justin Trudeau. What are you going to freeze my bank account? Okay.
I got $4, man.
I was going to say, take my $5. Go nuts.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
might have 50 cents in the other account.
But, I'll make it work.
What are you gonna you're gonna find me? Are you gonna steal my truck? You're gonna take my truck? You're gonna take my house? You're gonna put me in a COVID camp or a
They're
what
gonna
are they
come
gonna
down to Mexico, man. They're just gonna deport you back to
they're gonna
Canada.
deport me. What are they gonna do? They're gonna put us in FEMA camps? Okay. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to ever, like, we're still talking about going back. We're just trying to figure out a date to come back because we want to be part of this fight. We want to be a part of this fight. We've rested long enough. We're like the kid that's been on the bench after being injured for a few weeks, and we want to get back and put me in, coach. And we're ready. We're ready to go back. But the problem here, and the thing that tears me apart is, as a parent, what am I bringing my kids back to? Am I going to be protecting my children if I bring them back to a country like Canada? Am I going to be allowing them to have a chance for growth if I bring them back to Canada? As much as I want to be a part of the fight, this has got not to do with my kids. This is for my kids that we're here. We literally, like I said earlier, I was in tears almost all day yesterday. Like, Alex, you texted me a few times. I was like, I'm not even interested in talking about anything when it comes to the show. And you could ask him. It was pretty cut and dry answer.
Oh yeah, it was like, okay.
Yeah, it was like, yep, nope.
Yes. It's like,
yep.
I'll just leave that till tomorrow.
But me as an individual mom, I'm ready to put me in, coach. Yeah, tag me. I want to go. I want to go play now because this is absolute insanity now. Manitoba. Do we remember what Manitoba said? Do you remember last week when Stephenson went on record saying, we don't need the War Act? We don't need. I don't agree with what you're doing, Justin. We don't need it. Our police are doing a great job. We don't need it, Justin. Only today to announce that they are invoking the Emergencies Act in Winnipeg. So Stephenson,
I don't know. We don't know if credit unions are involved or not, if they can actually touch them.
As of right now, we haven't heard anything. Enough. All we heard about was RBC, CIBC,
TD.
TD was the
Scotia.
other one. Yeah, so those main ones, I haven't heard of any credit union holding any money yet. And that's talking to a lot of people. So the only thing that I've heard of is the main banks. Yeah.
It's time to switch, guys. Credit unions.
Yeah, credit unions, they don't well, for right now anyways. But yeah. What are we bringing home? What are we bringing our kids home to? That's one. But Rick Wall posted this on his, and I'm just going to read this to you guys here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to share this so that you guys can see it. I'm going to remove, then add this one. And okay, so this is what Rick Wall, who was one of the organizers for the Winnipeg convoy. So here it says, over the last 3 weeks, the Winnipeg Police Service has worked to balance your right to protest while protecting the rights of residents affected by your protest activities. Your ongoing presence and blocking the streets is interfering with lawful use of and enjoyment of personal and public property. All protesters must remove all vehicles, tractors, trailers, and other structures from the area of Broadway to Memorial, including along Memorial Boulevard, by no later than 5 p.m. tomorrow, which is February 23rd, 2022. Failure to do so may result in enforcing actions to be taken, including arrests and charges. And then it's just a bunch of bullshit. And it says if you are arrested, you may be released on bail. Now, let's go up to what he actually texted here. So Rick Wall wrote this 2 hours ago. Urgent update, please share. Good afternoon, Freedom Nation. We knew this day was inevitable. We have had ongoing negotiations with the Winnipeg Police Service since we started the Freedom Convoy at the Winnipeg Legislative. There has been open dialogue and mutual respect throughout every negotiation stage. The Freedom Convoy truckers of this protest have since said since day one, the Winnipeg police would ask us to leave. We would do so peacefully. That day has come, and they have asked us to be off Memorial Boulevard by 5 p.m. tomorrow. In order to continue our message of peaceful law-abiding protest, we will honor their request to leave. We will go home. So they're going to go home. And yeah. So again, Premier Stephenson said that she was going to enact it because she didn't want to use it. And now she literally is one of the biggest hypocrites. And at least Pallister did it with a smile on his face. She did it convincingly.
Oh, yeah.
So, to those of you guys who still believe that we have honorable government, what's it going to take for you guys to realize? Is it going to take your best friend to be put in a FEMA camp? Because really, we're not far away from that now. We're not far.
See, I look at it like, the old saying, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Like anybody in that position is going to do something corruptible. It's whether it's bringing a woman back into the White House, we all know that, something like that, something minor, or if we're going to turn communism like Trudeau is, like something major. It's like everybody has something.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, really, what's going on. And somebody here just wrote there's a protest on February 27th from 11 to 7. You know what? I mean, yeah, there's a protest, which is great. I think Winnipeggers, I think Canadians at this point, the ones who have come off the fence are now joining the fight. I also think that, at this point, I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust the police to even have a protest. Does it in the comments, does anybody actually trust the police anymore? Because I'm going to go on in a second here, and actually this kind of puts me as a bit of a bad guy when it comes to people who want to defend the police. But does actually anybody believe the cops anymore? Like, if you were to get pulled over and they know you're a freedom fighter, do you trust that they're not going to smash shit out of your car?
That's a lot of no's come through.
So this is to me my reply to a couple of the posts that I saw over the weekend, and I made sure to comment on every single one of them that I saw. They would take their little cameras and they'd be like, "Oh, but look at their eyes. They don't want to be here. Look at their eyes. There's so much hate and there's so much disgust of what they're having to do. Look at their eyes. They don't want to be here." If they didn't want to be there, they would have said no. If they didn't want to be there and didn't want to do what they were told to do, they would have said no. If the police did not want to be a part of this because it went against their moral right, their moral persons, their moral integrity, they would have said no. They made their call, and I never, ever, ever want to hear anybody say, well, the cops are just doing their job and they're, they don't really want to be doing this. It's bullshit. It's 100. I've called this bullshit for a year, and I definitely call it bullshit now. The police enjoyed it. Did you see a couple of them? Todd even pointed one out during a live stream. They were laughing. Then the text messages that got spewed out. Now, whether this is real or not, they're going to hear the jackboots hit the ground. And, oh, did you see that woman who got trampled? That's awesome. I mean, those cops, those were real police officers, like their pictures, those were real cops.
Now,
I'm
whether they
sorry.
texted that, I don't know.
But I've had family that were cops. I have family that's in the media, all people that I thought were stand-up people until this happened. Now,
Not so much.
I don't know. Like, come on. Like, let's be honest. If you're a freedom fighter and they know your name, look at all the people that are standing up in Winnipeg. We all have faces. They all know who we are. They all have files on us, especially now.
Yeah.
You're in a world of hurt, and especially right now because of the Emergency War Act. Again, do you want me to read what that was? Because they can do whatever the hell they want. We're literally in overnight. So this is what happened overnight in Canada, and people don't even see this. We went from free nation-ish, to them freezing our bank accounts. What happens in a social credit system when it's designed? If you do something that they go against any narrative of the government, they will freeze your funds. They will tell you that you cannot go and buy that pizza. They will tell you you cannot fill up your gas because you were a bad boy or bad little girl. Do you not see that overnight we went to a social credit system? Overnight. And everybody's like, well, they just froze your account. No. No, they didn't. This is what they wanted. A social credit system. Overnight, without nobody even noticing, we went into that. So now they can do that whenever they want. The banks, there's no repercussion. There's no liability. We went from, again, free to social credit score system. Now, the other thing that happened overnight, and nobody else knows, is Justin Trudeau said he wasn't bringing the military. I don't know about you, but that looked pretty damn military to me.
Yeah, he's a fucking liar.
If you see,
Fucking liar.
I mean, how many of you guys saw the guy getting beat by a gun, the butt end of a gun? How many of you guys did you see where that one guy was getting kneed? What about the reporter from Rebel News? Jose, I think is her name. She got cross-checked in the face by some cop because she literally was a little bit too close. He cracked her in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I saw all this stuff live. We were literally glued to that TV for 12 hours a day. It sure looked like, and people were like, oh, well, the UN military, those were just planes that were flying in. If you actually watch a lot of the lives, they weren't speaking French, nor were they speaking English. What language were they speaking?
Arabic.
There are some lives
Chinese.
you hear, but I don't think it was Chinese, but it was definitely something different.
Arabic or something.
I don't know. Where does the UN come from? All over the place, right? I don't know. I don't know what language it was, but it was definitely not French, and it was definitely not English.
No.
Was it German? Somebody's saying it was German. Could have been.
And if it were UN troops, they should speak French. I'm pretty sure the UN has you have to speak French or something like that because it's accepted almost everywhere. It's like that universal language, something like that.
Something like that. But I think it was German. So lots of people are saying German. So you guys, everybody that's saying
Bastards.
Germany, you guys were definitely on par then, that that it wasn't just Canadian soldiers that were on the floor. Anyway, so that was our weekend. And I mean, like, we get posts like that now. That's what Canada is. This is, and these were all different people that I just happened to grab these photos. This one's probably my favorite one. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to post it here because I'll get kicked off of Facebook. But Elon Musk posted this one, and I laughed my ass off when I saw it because, oh my God. Yeah, that one was pretty funny. But this is what people think of Canada now. Canada used to be the nice guys, right? Canada used to be the polite guys. And now Canada is the country where their government turned to dictatorship. Their government beat up a bunch of peaceful protests. And you hear it all the time. It was peaceful protesters. It was all peaceful until they came in and shit kicked us. And then Justin Trudeau saying the RCMP did a great job. They were professional. They were professional through the whole thing. They were professional. There was no incidences. There was no incidences of violence. It was unbloody believable. Unbloody believable. How many of you guys actually watched a lot of the live streams? There were so many streams. Viva Fryer was one stream that we watched quite often. We watched a lot of Wham. We watched a lot of East Coast Canadian was another one that we were watching. You know what I wonder though, if anybody's out there that happened to see this, you know, when the horses trampled the old lady, there was another gentleman that was underneath the horse's leg. I want to know what happened to him. That's what I'd like to know. They said that there was one that died of a heart attack, but I wonder if maybe that was him, but he died of hoof to the head, maybe. That's kind of what I heard.
Well, his brain stopped his heart after that impact.
It was kind of crazy. It was crazy. It was gross to watch. It was absolutely crazy.
Well, there was a big argument in the comments actually throughout this about the horses and all that stuff, and people are like, "Oh, with blinders on, the horses just like, you know, are led and that," and it's like, it's not the horse's fault. I will be the first one. It's not. He is led by the person on top. He is trained to do a job. He is led to where he was. I've seen those horses hit people and stuff like that in like raids and taking down people sometimes, like, and it's like they are meant to check and they are really trained. So that horse hit that person, whether that Mountie on top did it purposefully or not, I'm not that guy.
I mean, nobody's going to know if they did it.
Fault.
Yeah, you're never going to know if they actually did it on purpose. I mean, you can see a lot of different angles from that live stream, and you guys can kind of judge for yourselves what you think. I mean, to me, it looked pretty blatantly obvious that they were doing it on purpose and that they did it with an intention, and the intention was to hurt. And they said that there were even that night, the Ottawa police was like, well, we don't know anything about any incidences of anybody getting run over. I mean, how can you not watch the footage? Because it wasn't on CBC. That means it wasn't true. Yeah. And then somebody wrote here that they beat up a vet. They did. I saw the footage. It was mind blowing. Then there was rubber bullets. They were spraying rubber bullets. Then there was a person who got hit by a rubber bullet and they went, oh, police called the ambulance to get this person on an ambulance because they went, oh shit, maybe a little bit too far. And then there was pepper spray, and the cops all denied it. They all said that we weren't using pepper spray. There was no spray used. There was none of this. They denied it until the last day where they said, well, we had to do what we had to do to protect ourselves from the violence and the aggression of people. And again, if you watch the footage, you see no protesters ever approaching the cops. It was always the cops coming down on people first. It was always the cops initiating this.
That's because everybody knew going in it was supposed to be peaceful, and they weren't there to make it peaceful. It's like whoever came and took all the kids and everybody's hockey equipment the one night overnight and just took it all on them. It's like, that's really bad. It's like you just stole from kids.
It was
like,
absolutely
from kids, man.
Yeah, it was crazy that this went down the way they did. And Jeremy is right when he says this is a black stain that's on Canada permanently now. And we as Canadians and our generation and our younger generation, we need to be the ones who tell this, because this is the story that's going to be denied until they're blue in the face. Look at Hitler. He completely rewrote history because he was able to in Germany at the time. He was able to paint himself as a king. Joseph Stalin did the same thing. Look at North Korea. I mean, North Korea, there are stories out there where I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember if it was
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, was it Kim Jong's dad though? And
it was one of the uns.
Yeah, he was one of the ones who fabricated the story that he doesn't have bowel movements because he's so healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the history that they teach them. So we need to make sure that we're telling these stories, and we need to make sure in a day and age where you can't hide from cell phones. I can't believe they didn't black out Ottawa. To be honest with you, when they did this, I couldn't believe that they didn't black out Ottawa.
No. But it's like, as soon as they do that, it's like people notice your cell phone signals turn off.
Yeah.
You've got no service, but it's like your record function still fucking records.
Yeah. So
So it's
people
like,
could, but it's good to, I'm glad that it didn't. And yes, Canadians kept it peaceful, and I was really proud that they did keep it peaceful, but it's going to, and here I'm going to wind down the show with this. I'm in a, I might get myself in a little bit of hot water.
Todd wants to know if you want him on the show for the last little bit.
While we're winding down there, we'll if I have a minute, yeah. We at one point, Canadians, peace and love isn't going to cut it. Putting a flower in front of a police officer is not going to cut it. At one point, Canada is going to have to take a page from our American friends and start to fight back.
Mhm.
There's only so much we can take.
I'm going to say it's going to take a kid, a child. It's going to happen as soon as a child gets hit by a police officer, like a small child. Accidentally, whatever, that's going to spark a fight, and it's just going to topple.
I mean, I hope that it doesn't take a kid.
I hope it doesn't either, but it's like,
but
we had people beaten in Ottawa now, and it's like we're still being peaceful. I don't know.
I think this is what, like, I think Canadians still have a lot of fight left. And I mean, I was definitely one of the ones who wrote RIP in Canada last night. And I did that out of emotional brokenness, because for 72 hours, we just literally saw our country, fall apart. And it was really, really heartbreaking. And then we saw that happen yesterday, and it was like literally such a kick into the stomach that I felt like I was just like out of breath. And but I woke up this morning rejuvenated and pumped, and I was like, we're not done yet. Like, this isn't done. If anything, I think you just pissed off a fuckload of Canadians. It takes I heard this as a joke, it takes 2 years to piss off a Canadian. Well, you finally did it. And now eventually, like Canada, it's peace and love is not going to cut it. And keeping our energy and our vibrations high it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. We're going to have to eventually fight back. If they're coming at us with batons and tanks and guns and bombs, we're going to have to fight back. And a flower isn't going to do it. A flower isn't going to do it. It's not.
I'm just saying, John F. Kennedy was shot in a car. Trudeau could be shot giving a speech. Canadian sniper.
I can't believe, like, honestly.
It's all jokes, guys. It's all jokes. I don't believe.
But honestly, I can't even believe him and Biden are still walking around. I don't even know how that's possible. I'm not gonna lie.
Because the fucking shooting was paid to get him out of the. I mean,
well, of course. I mean, we can go down the JFK whole rabbit hole for sure. And yeah, I mean, and I don't disagree with you. I agree.
3 years later.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to actually wrap it up because we're my heart still hurts. Yeah. My heart hurts for Canada. I hope that Canada can somewhat recover. My question, maybe everyone who's watching right now can listen or type in whatever and just say, how do we heal as a nation when this is over? Because even right now, even if they're opening up the economy and they're allowing the unvaccinated, which thank you for allowing us to have our rights back in March, how do we go to places where people didn't even want us in the first place? Yeah. How do we do that? It's a spiritual war. We all need to meditate and start. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree that we all need to meditate a little bit more. I don't disagree with you that we need to find our inner peace. I don't disagree with you at all. But when they're coming at you with a gun, you can only meditate so much. I mean, sorry.
Meditation ain't going to stop a bullet.
No.
I meditate myself, but I know it's not stopping a bullet.
I meditate every single day. So I don't want to jump too far ahead because we still have I don't have very, very high hopes for it, but I do have hopes that the Senate might come through yet for us. I have hopes yet somewhere in there in the cloud of negativity that I feel like is just in my heart. I hope we win this year.
Yeah.
I know that we're in for a big fight, and I know that it's not going to happen overnight, but Trudeau is literally playing his last hand because he's got no more hands to deal with. He's got nothing left.
What about this just came to me. What about we knock down a border? One of the borders between Canada and the United States, huge field on both sides. Freedom Fest 2020 or 2022, 2023, yep. And July, August, 2 months, everybody just fuck that border fucking crossing. And
can we do that? Can we actually do that? I wonder if anybody actually owns like farmland between, like, I'm sure of it. People must own farmland right up
one
to.
One owns farmland on one side, one owns farmland on the other side, and we build a bridge over top, and it's the Freedom Bridge 2022.
That's awesome. JFK was assassinated by his own party. Yes, he was 100% assassinated by his own party. Yeah. It would be interesting to have that little bit freedom thing. It'd be fun to do that. Actually, we can get a whole bunch of bands and just have a good time. Yeah. Hug everybody and no masks.
If everybody wants to send donations to, bam,
right there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Canada is peace and love. We have 2 podcasts we are recording this week, and we will release next week. We have a holistic nutritionist joining us, and then we have an actual she's a journalist. She writes and I'll have all of her information. I don't have it in front of me, but she's a journalist who talks about like debunking what's happening with COVID-19. She has got some great content. You're not going to want to miss that. That one's getting recorded on Thursday, and that one will air on Tuesday next week. So we won't be live next week, but definitely tune in to watch that because it is going to be an amazing, amazing show. And catch everything. Of course,
that's because you'll be on it and I'll be on it. That just makes an amazing show.
Filthy truth. If you guys need any more information, or if you guys have missed any past shows and you guys want to get more stuff on, head over to Rumble. Make sure that you guys are going there. Make sure to like and share the crap out of this. Give us a whole bunch of hearts. Give us a whole bunch of thumbs up, because that definitely helps beat those algorithms. And then head over, if you want to just listen to the audio stuff, head over to the Spotify account. It is The Filthy Truth right there. There it goes. And head over there. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening, everyone. I love you very much, Alex.
And one day, I will make a video of us dancing out to this song.
It always happens.
We want to so bad, so we'll
figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. Thank you for everything. Have a wonderful night. And Shadow Davis is on in about 5 minutes, so make sure you go to the bathroom, grab a cup of coffee, and tune into his show. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Damn, dog, we're all afraid to speak the truth. And the more afraid we get, the more we hate the ones who do. You're ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Because honestly, we are all ashamed of you too.
Y'all are so fake. Oh no. The forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa. You can make us see it your way. No way. Gasoline and pro.